Welcome to Pause and Play. I'm Jessica. This is your pocket companion, a place to pause, to play, and to find your way back home to yourself. You don't have to do anything, just be here.
Guidepost 10. I can do hard things. Meeting challenges with compassion, courage, and capacity. You are stronger than you think, not because you're unbreakable, but because you keep choosing to rise. Take a grounding breath. Place both feet flat on the floor. Feel the support beneath you. Put a hand on your heart and your belly and say softly, I can do hard things. Repeat it 3 times. Let it move from your lips to your lungs to your bones. Let it become a remembering. I can do hard things, not because it's easy, not because you always want to, but because you've done it before. And because inside you is a well of courage deeper than the fear. Hard things don't mean you're failing. They mean you're growing. Sometimes we equate struggle with weakness, but doing hard things is not about effortlessness. It's about presence. It's about walking through discomfort and still choosing to show up. This mantra isn't meant to dismiss how hard it is. It's meant to remind you that you are not alone in it. You are capable, you are resourced, you are still standing. And every time you've said, I can't, and still did, you were practicing this mantra. Becoming a single parent was never part of my plan. Navigating life after divorce felt like climbing a mountain with no map and no rest stops. Just one relentless step after another. Financial stress, emotional exhaustion, parenting 3 kids solo. It wasn't just the big crises that broke me down. It was the daily grind. The showing up when I felt like I had nothing left. I remember one week when everything seemed to fall apart. The kids were passing around a cold. We were all sleep deprived. The fridge was nearly empty. The car was acting up. I stood in the kitchen staring at the shelves, wondering how I'd stretch one more meal from what we had. Panic rose in my chest, but then something else did too. A quiet, steady whisper. You can do this, one step at a time. I boiled pasta, made a simple meal. We sat around the table telling silly jokes and making up stories. The heaviness lightened just a little. Later that week, we were driving to the grocery store when the car jolted, a flat tire. I pulled over, my heart racing. The kids looked at me for answers. I felt the familiar swirl of, I can't do this, rising up. But instead of spiraling, I took a slow, deep breath. I looked back at them and said, we've got this. We'll figure it out. And we did. We walked to Pop's water ice nearby, shared lemon and cherry ices under the shade of a tree, and ended up at the playground. What could have been another unraveling moment turned into a memory, one we still talk about. That day didn't go according to plan, but it reminded me I was doing hard things. Not because I wanted to, but because I could. I used to think resilience looked like stoicism, toughness, powering through. But what I've learned is that strength is often soft. It's shaky hands that keep moving. It's tears that fall and feet that keep going anyway. Now, when life gets heavy again, I remember those days. The small, brave steps, the quiet improvisations, the deep breaths in the middle of chaos. I don't need to feel fearless to be brave. I just need to keep showing up. I can do hard things. Not because I'm unbreakable, but because I'm willing to stay. Willing to trust that each step forward, no matter how small, is enough. Science meets soul. Doing hard things activates the stress response. But when done with awareness, co-regulation, and pacing, it can build resilience. When we take on challenges while staying connected to safety through breath, relationships, grounding tools, we expand our nervous system's capacity to tolerate difficulty without overwhelm. This builds what's called distress tolerance, the ability to feel discomfort without shutting down. It's not about pushing harder, it's about staying connected while you stretch. Life includes hard things: grief, boundaries, change, healing, parenting, showing up. Avoiding hard things doesn't make them go away. It just makes us feel smaller than we are. But when we meet them with presence, grace, and support, we grow. We become more resilient, more compassionate, more real. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to take the next honest step. Try this. Name one hard thing you've done recently and celebrate it. Break a current hard thing into smaller, manageable steps. Say aloud, "This is hard and I can handle it." Ask for support. Help doesn't make it less brave. Practice breath work before or after a difficult task. Repeat the mantra, "I can do hard things," while moving. Write down 3 resources you can lean on when things are feeling tough. Reflect on a time you overcame something you thought you couldn't. Pair a hard thing with something comforting, like tea, music, nature. Begin one small, brave action you've been putting off. Pause prompts. What feels hard right now, and what do I need to meet it? What's the story I'm telling myself about this difficulty? What parts of me need tenderness in this moment? When have I done something hard before and made it through? What am I afraid of will happen if I keep going? What's one supportive voice I can borrow right now? What is my nervous system asking for? How can I hold myself gently in the hard? What do I wish someone would say to me? Can I say it to myself? What's the very next step I can take? In the pause, we meet ourselves. We notice what's present, not just the fear or fatigue, but the quiet strength underneath. Pausing doesn't mean we stop. It means we breathe, we recalibrate. We remember we're not doing this alone. Sometimes the hardest thing isn't doing the thing, it's believing we can. Let the pause remind you, you can. Play prompts. Create a hard things I've done collage. Make a strength superhero version of yourself. Dance to a song that reminds you of your power. Write a letter to your past self from your brave self. Make an art piece titled, "I Did That." Build a playlist for doing hard things. Decorate a jar and fill it with courage reminders. Draw a mountain and mark the hard climbs you've made. Act out a brave scene from your own life. Make a courage crown to wear when facing fear. Play helps reframe. hard things. It gives us access to parts of ourselves we forget when we're in survival mode. Things like joy, resilience, humor, hope. You don't have to wait until it's easy to make space for lightness. You can play your way through the hard. Even in pain, there's room for wonder. Integration practices. Start a resilience record. Track your brave moments. Ground yourself before and after facing a hard thing. Use sensory tools like textures or scent or music to support your own regulation. Celebrate small wins. They are real. Say, "This is hard," out loud. Simply naming it actually helps. Create a courage ritual, a phrase, a breath, a gesture. End the day by naming one thing you did anyway. Visualize yourself on the other side of the challenge. Keep an evidence list of things you've overcome. Let yourself rest. Doing hard things also means knowing when to stop. Integration is what turns effort into embodiment. It's the part where we look back and say, "That was hard, and I did it." It's also the part where you say, "That was too hard, and I learned something." You don't have to be unbreakable to be brave. You just have to keep returning with tenderness to knowing that you can. Art therapy prompts. Draw a bridge from stuck to strong. Create an "I did the hard thing" badge or award. Collage images that reflect resilience and grit. Trace your hand and fill it with tools that support you. Paint a storm and then the sky clearing. Make a map of a hard thing you've been through. Write "I can do hard things" in bold and decorate it with symbols of strength. Turn a journal page into a timeline of triumphs. Create a mixed media piece titled "This Mattered." Sculpt a tiny figure holding a flag at the top of a mountain. Personal exploration. Journal prompt. What hard thing am I currently facing, and what helps me face it? Doodle prompt. Draw a symbol that represents your courage. Collage prompt. Find images that capture strength, surrender, and self-trust. I can do hard things with honesty, grace, and support. This affirmation isn't about hustling through hardship. It's about meeting the moment with truth. You are capable. You are carried. You are not alone. Let this be your grounding. You don't have to do it all. You just have to take the next right step. Glennon Doyle. Hard things are part of the path. They do not mean you're broken. They mean you're becoming. You are doing it, maybe slowly, maybe shakily, but still, you are doing it. And that matters. Community invitation. What's one hard thing you've done lately? Or one you're facing now? Share your story, your art, your breath. Let's hold space for the brave middle, the place where we keep going, even when it's hard. Before you go, I want you to recognize what you just did. You showed up. You stayed. And you allowed yourself to remain present with something difficult. Today, you practiced resilience. And in doing that, you strengthened your trust in yourself
You loved yourself by not giving up. And every time you do that, your nervous system learns that you are capable of more than you knew. You are leaving this episode different than when you arrived, because now there's a part of you that stays. And I want you to know, I see you. Carry this with you. You can do hard things. I'll meet you here again soon. Pause and play.